Hi, I'm Aura, and I'm the host of Collective Mind, and I'm here with Onyx, my fiance, and the host of Primal Pack. At least I think I am.
Maybe.
Oh my god.
I'm so sorry.
Um,
I'm so sorry.
We're gonna do a somewhat overdue next episode of DID Systems React to Sandersides. So we're on Why Do We Get Out of Bed in the Morning? So this one should be fun. Have you seen this one?
You're doing DID Systems React? I shouldn't be here then.
Oh my god.
I'm not a system. It's denial. Fuck yeah. I might be a little scatterbrained.
Oh, I know.
No, I haven't seen any of the Sandersides except what I've watched with you.
Right, but we watched a couple together before we started filming it. I cherry-picked a few to show you before. And I don't remember if this was one of them.
Already watched them?
Okay, maybe.
I don't know.
Not sure.
No, I don't think I've seen this one at all.
I guess we'll find out for sure. It sure helps if I click the video.
I don't really know what funny thing to do before this video, so do we want to just do impressions of sound effects? Dominic, go. Lamination on a book. Nice. Joan?
Snorkel.
What was that?
That was a diving instructor saying the word snorkel.
Gotcha. Dariana? You guys are really bad at impressions. What is up, everybody?
Sorry, I thought this was my YouTube channel.
Today I am with my friends and we are going to be playing the shoe stack challenge. You guys know how this works?
No!
Basically, we're going to start off by taking off all of our shoes.
Okay.
I took mine off at the door.
Well, go get them, Kyle. Come on, jeez. And we're gonna stack one shoe after another in a person's arms until they can't hold anymore.
What?
And the last person to add their shoe to the pile to make the shoe holder drop all the shoes has to smell every single shoe in that pile.
I'm not smelling anyone's shoes.
Yeah, me neither. Guys, come on.
What if the shoe holder decides to intentionally drop all the shoes to make that shoe stacker smell all of the shoes?
Well, I would hope that you all are good people and you will respect the rules of the game.
You shouldn't.
Okay, Dariana, you're first.
Nope, not touching anyone's shoes.
You got it. It's the games.
This does not sound like a fun game.
Well, I didn't think of anything else to do today.
Clearly.
Yeah, it sounds like you just wanted to play Jenga, but you decided to shoehorn a couple other elements into it.
Well, maybe, but we still
Shoehorn?
No, yeah, I got it. But, you know, we still gotta play the game, so...
Listen, why don't we come back when you have a plan that's a little more ironed out and doesn't involve smelling other people's shoes?
Okay, I guess. Bye, everyone. Thomas, I trust that I don't have to explain to you just how weird that was. I know.
I wanted to jump in on the whole, commentary on the way that you're living your life thing. Of, just getting, someone just coming co-conscious or whatever and just kind of giving side-eye and judgment and stuff when they're just like, why did you do that like that? You know?
Side-eye Sid.
It feels relatable to me. Yeah.
Oh, Logan, I know. Not one of my better game ideas. I'd say so. Where on earth did you come up with that? My house. Of course. How did you come up with it? Oh, man, it just came to me. Right after I asked my friends to come over and I hit record on that there camera. What? You've known that you had to make a video today? Yeah. I did know that. Okay, so what is this about? I don't know. I guess I just wasn't feeling it today. Feeling what? And do not say motivated. That is what I thought you were going to say. Thomas, didn't we work through your motivation issues on February 28th of last year? Planning was the key to helping you.
Motivation doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Motivation, in general, problems like that they're not one and done things.
I'm so sorry. I have to interrupt you for half a second because look at how terrifying the images that I paused it on. Sorry.
It's fine. But it's like, we were depressed last year. We can't be doing this again every year. That's not how it works.
Yeah. It's a more complex issue than that, even if you don't get like other mental or physical health problems involved. For sure. But it is very like Logan to have this mentality of, we solved this problem already. You know? He doesn't really like the idea of like ongoing problems that can't be just permanently solved.
Right. Well, now you're just pandering to my fondness for being told that I'm right. You're right! Looks like I need to buckle down and work harder to plan things out in the future. If you all find yourselves lacking motivation or procrastinating... Okay, now you're just recycling the very same monologue that you delivered at the end of the losing motivation video. You can click here to see that. Ah, you got me again. I guess I lacked the motivation necessary to write a unique conclusion for this video. Or the motivation necessary to write a more subtle joke, apparently. But it'll be better. From here on out, it was just today. Today was a flute. You mean a fluke? A flute is a wind instrument, and a fluke is an unlikely occurrence. Ah, knowledge. That's why I love you, Logan. Today was a fluke. Unacceptable, Thomas. I will not have you lying to yourself. You called? Deceit! Get out! Leave me alone, you slippery snake! Oh, really? Double birds? See what happens? Yeah, he's a slime.
I have to throw out there that also feels like a relatable occurrence of like persecutors just kind of showing up, but not really doing anything, but just kind of like poking their head in and being like, I'm here too.
Bullshit. It's like,
or just doing little things like, I'm just gonna walk by and like flip you off as I walk by inside. Yeah. That just immediately reminded me of that. Of just like the sass, you know?
Slimy boy! A slimy boy, Logan! I think his scales are just smooth. To the best of my knowledge, he does not excrete slime. No, okay, well, what if I really, sincerely try to plan and get motivated? With all my heart. You can tell yourself that all you want, Thomas, but I think there's something more at the core of this issue. Maybe it's time that we take a look at the bigger picture here. You're talking about that picture? Yes, I still don't quite understand it. I just liked it, Logan. I don't know why you're so confused by it. Like, this is like the 7th time you've asked about it. Never mind, it doesn't matter. Now that we've looked at that, let's return to the task at hand. Although, the big picture has me thinking. If you fully understand what it's all for, could that be enough to motivate you? What do you mean by it? All of it. Everything that you do. But in order to look at that, we will need Roman. Whoa! You suck at summoning, Logan. You pulled my hair! I apologize. I usually don't call others in. Typically, I can just work things out on my own. And yet this time you called someone. And it was Roman? Oh, I know.
Did you have thoughts? Or should I go?
I mean, I have... Ruta just pulls someone like that. But also, it's technically progress?
Yeah. It's one of those complicated things where it's like, the idea of getting someone else's input, awesome. Just like grabbing them out of thin air and forcefully pulling them to the front, not as great. Unless you've like specifically established that in advance or whatever, that you have consent to do that. But also, the fact that Logan specifically is bad at it also feels like something I could make connections to. Like, because you could argue that that's like a gatekeeping ability. And having different levels of that gatekeeping ability and stuff.
Tickets to Surprise City, you and me, right? I get the window seat. You encompass many of Thomas's hopes and dreams. It would be foolish not to include you in a discussion concerning Thomas's hopes and dreams. Yeah, I'd appreciate it if you didn't talk about me behind my back. Oh, I wouldn't talk about you behind your back. You would still hear everything I was saying. I would talk about you in another room. Fair enough. Of course, you and I have our differences. We disagree on many things. Yeah! Understatement much? Wow. But there is one subject matter on which we have always agreed that Thomas needs improvement. How he spends his time. True that, Pat. I'm Logan. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. It's the glasses. It totally throws me off. I don't believe you. I think you're just being a jerk. Anyway, I have a hypothesis about why our efforts to push Thomas towards a more productive lifestyle have been unsuccessful. There's a disconnect between what needs to be done and Thomas's understanding of why it needs to be done. If we can manage to make the items on Thomas's to-do list serve as regular reminders of Thomas's endgame, then I believe we will see some improvement in his productivity. Meaning that the tasks themselves will motivate Thomas to perform said tasks. Bravo, Logan. See what happens when you guys work together. Thomas, can you let the grown-ups work this one out? Thank you. Thank you. Right. You're like the myth of the great man baby. Looks
I'm gonna let him finish the
like
joke.
a man acts like a baby.
Wow. Harsh.
Yeah, it also... I feel like some strong parallels can be drawn here of how the system as a whole sometimes tends to treat the host. Of, like, you clearly don't know what you're doing, or you don't have any of the context for any of the things that we're talking about. So, like, we're gonna decide what to do, and then you're gonna do it mentality.
Very much so.
And that can be something that's hard to break out of. Or even the mentality of you're doing it wrong, I'm gonna take over and do it right. You know?
You. That's what I would say if someone told me that. But also, that's really not nice to do.
But, like, making it cooperative is often much more successful.
Yes, but not if you force your way into it.
No, I know, but, like, involving, like in this case, involving the host in the conversation and being like, hey, what do you think about doing it this way? I think that it would be helpful for these reasons, you know?
I agree there.
But yeah, Roman was almost uncharacteristically mean to Thomas right there. He usually directs that stuff more toward Virgil. But maybe because he's trying to treat Virgil better, he doesn't have an outlet for it anymore.
That doesn't mean it's okay to throw at someone else.
I know. I agree.
Be quiet. So now we are tasked with reminding Thomas about, putting it simply, why he does everything that he does. Oh, well, I'll gladly explain that to you, Thomas. Oh, I mean, we'll gladly explain it to you. What the? Get it! Get it back! It's all about achieving ultimate fame, riches, and living in a mansion hidden by a waterfall on the side of a mountain.
Before I even touch on that, do I want to jump into the reality can work differently in inner worlds thing?
Do you?
I don't know.
Why are you asking me?
Just like some of these things feel like a bit of a stretch to connect them to system things, but
Oh
also,
my God.
oh my god, I didn't even
Really?
do that on purpose.
Really? Oh my god. A bit of
Oh
a
my god,
stretch.
I didn't do that on purpose, but I'm
Oh,
glad
that's
I did.
amazing. I'm glad that we're rubbing off on you in that way, so you can like.
I think Anna's around too, and she's punnier than I am.
That's amazing. I'm so glad you accidentally made a pun like that.
But like, it's really common for inner worlds to not function exactly as external reality does. And like that could be an example of that for them if this were trying to portray a system, you know. But the whole point of this series is to read everything as if it's system coded. even though it's like they have clearly said that it's not meant to portray systems. But yeah. Despite that, they still portray it better than I think any other representation I have ever seen that wasn't made by a system.
So far. I mean, I have a couple other shows like
Right.
on a list for us to watch and some movies and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
where there's apparently really good representation of it.
Yeah. And we want to go through some of those too. Oh, what was the other
But
thing I
yeah,
was
as
gonna...
far as like DID representation though, this is pretty decent and nice, and they don't like slander a bunch of shit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see.
Oh, Roman's fantasy future of being rich and living in a mansion behind a waterfall on a mountain.
How idealistic.
Idealistic, but also like it is a pretty good example of how like different alters can have very different goals and fantasies and hopes and dreams and stuff. Like that's Roman's fantasy perfect future. Logan would probably hate that. Like a lot of things about that. And Virgil almost certainly would. Patton might like it, but it might be too isolated for Patton because Patton's really social. So
Yeah, but they could have like big parties and stuff.
true. But like that's something that can be really hard with systems is when people want different things, but they have to share a life. And there are some little ways that you can do some of that sometimes, but like choosing a career and
Those are so fucking hard to do.
and in some cases like choosing a life partner and just generally not having enough time for everybody to pursue everything they want to do. Or like if I really like something and that thing is triggering for somebody else in my system, I might not be able to do it because it triggers them, or I might like it but somebody else hates it, and if they happen to switch while I'm in the middle of doing it, that might be really frustrating for them. Like there's so many things that get so hard.
Yes, very much so.
Wait, what? No. Apparently our viewpoints do not align as much as I thought that they did. Oh, I'm sorry. What aspect of that picture that I just painted didn't sound perfect? For starters, financial security is nice, but the term riches doesn't have any set value. That makes riches a potentially unattainable goal. A millionaire doesn't look very wealthy standing next to Oprah Winfrey. Every time we reach a predetermined goal, we may very well decide that said goal isn't rich enough. That's the danger with pursuing riches. It can be defined in almost any way. Totally. I mean, in The Witcher 3, if you wish for Master Mirror to make you rich, he only gives you like 5,000 crowns. Like, that's rich, Master Mirror? It costs like 2,000 crowns to get a good piece of armor. I never thought I would be able to say this without seeming like a hypocrite, but you are a huge nerd. As for your other point, notoriety does have its advantages, especially in regards to opportunities that might have otherwise been unavailable to you. It opens many doors, if you will. That said, you already suffer from severe social anxiety, and the more widely recognized you become, the more frequently strangers will approach you in public when you are unprepared to socialize. You called? Oh, I'm sorry. No, we're just chatting. All right. Just be careful what you talk about. Because I'm listening. Hi, Virgil. What's up, Thomas? Okay, well...
I love that little interaction so much.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
it was
But
nice.
that's very familiar to me of like we start talking about something that gets someone else's attention and they're like, what's going on? Are we in a social situation? Should I be out? And it's like, no. We're talking about a hypothetical social situation. It's fine.
Aw, you got my hopes up for nothing.
What about my mansion? Oh, yes, of course, that. What about it? It's stupid. There's a million reasons why that's a bad idea.
Rude.
Okay, well then if my ideas are all so stupid, why don't you explain why we must do everything that we do, Mr. Smarty Pants? Gladly. Thomas. Geek Squad? More like Squadless Geek. You're alone. Well, you're...
They're both
now you
flashing
just-
out a lot in this video.
Yeah, now they're just reaching to try and hurt the other one.
I think there's a lot of frustration on both sides.
Uh-huh.
Sides, no pun intended.
Oh my god. Okay, we've
Anna's
rubbed off
so
on you
close.
too much. You're too punny now. Oh
Anna's
god.
really close.
What have I done? I've created a monster.
Like, I'm almost worried
Rise,
with
my
Anna. She's
glorious
really close.
creation.
So yeah, I think they're both really frustrated. They're both lashing out a lot. They both feel very strongly about the way that they see the situation.
Mm-hmm. Everybody feels strongly about the opinions that they have and the stances that they take.
They also
There's a
might
reason
be
they
the
have
two
them.
most stubborn of the sides. Like, they're both very bad at taking, like, input and influence from other people.
Mm-hmm.
You're lashing out like a little bratty baby. I'm going to take the figurative high road and ignore your name calling. But you just called me a little bratty baby. Thomas must do everything that he does.
Oh.
You
Wait.
just called me a little bratty baby. No, I didn't. Gaslighting and manipulation.
Yeah,
bullshit.
that was
The
straight up
hypocrisy.
gaslighting. It wasn't done well, but it was straight up gaslighting.
Yeah.
Of, I'm going to accuse you and yell at you for the thing that I'm doing. In this case, Roman is also doing it. But I'm not doing anything wrong. You're doing all of these horrible things. I'm going to be the better person and not do that. But he did it while he said that.
Yep.
And then wouldn't just, like, change the subject the second he was called out on it.
Uh-huh.
Does in the sole effort to sustain a viable lifespan conducive to the human body. What? Boo! You don't want me to live a long, healthy life? I mean, like, sure, whatever, but, like, why? What is it all for? For that purpose alone. Life is an astronomically unlikely privilege and it should be taken very seriously. You must handle yours responsibly. To borrow some of the words of Alan Moore, in human coupling, millions upon millions of cells compete to create life for generation after generation until finally, against unfathomable odds, it is you, only you, that emerged. To distill so specific a form from all that chaos, it's like turning air into gold. Yes, but what is your reward for a lifetime of effort? Life is the reward. I'll provide you with an illustration. Let's say that you're the type of person that really appreciates automobiles.
Life is not very rewarding a lot of the time, and especially in today's world, like with COVID and everything, because it's 2022
Yeah.
currently, like, life doesn't feel rewarding.
Yeah.
Like, with everything going on, that's probably why, like, our generation and younger is just really fed up with the boomers mentality, because it doesn't work. The carrot on the stick isn't appealing. Like, you can do it. You might get the carrot. Yeah, but it's been 10 days and you've been taunting me with one carrot and haven't fed me since, so I'd stay interested in the carrot. And I don't care in it anymore because, like, fuck you. I'd rather die. This is not fun. It's not worth it.
Yeah. And I have a really interesting, like, back and forth experience watching this video of, at first I'll be like, oh yeah, that makes sense, and then I'll hear the other side's, like, competing argument. I'll be like, oh, that makes sense. And then I get to a point where none of it feels like it makes sense anymore, and I'm like, no, that's not a good enough reason to put in so much effort, but that's not either. Is there a good reason? Like, I get into this really fun mindset where
call you out on that after
none of
this.
it seems to matter, you know?
Okay, I'm gonna call you out. That's because the things that they decide on and are talking about aren't appealing to you.
Yeah. And the things
So-
that are appealing to me don't feel achievable.
Yeah, like if someone really likes cars, cool, they like cars. If I don't, it's not gonna mean shit to me if you say I'll give you a shiny new, like, 1964 Mustang or something. I don't know. I used to know cars. I don't anymore. I used to pretend I was a man. and liked cars.
Oh, honey.
It's fine. I have a specific car that I like, but that's just because of positive association with the memory, and I think it's really pretty. And that's it.
Ready for more?
Always.
And your Aunt Patty gifted you a Lamborghini. How would you treat it? Would you enter into a demolition derby and destroy it? No, you would keep it clean, you would keep it safe, and you would make sure that it sees all of the necessary maintenance. Any behavior to the contrary would demonstrate a lack of appreciation for the gift you've been given. Yeah. All right, listen, you want to bring visual metaphors into this? You got it. If you've been gifted this shiny car,
Rims of gold.
windshield of diamond. Windshield of diamond? Wow!
What a
Oh,
fucking
that
metaphor.
doesn't sound like a very functional design plan. Are you going to tend to it, protect it, and never actually take it out on the open road? Are you going to keep that noble steed cooped up in the stables for the entirety of its existence? Yes. No! You're going to saddle up, see the sights, and ride it into the night! You're mixing metaphors.
Roman,
We're talking about a car, not a
Roman.
horse. Okay,
Roman's horny.
I mean,
That's
yeah,
all this
canonically,
boils
yes.
down to. All this boils down to right now is Roman is just horny.
But he makes a decent point here that if your goal is literally only survival and like maintaining your physical body, that's not really living for a lot of people, at least. For Roman, it definitely wouldn't be. It would be like having a shiny car that you keep pristine and never actually use it because you're so scared of it crashing or getting a scratch or whatever.
Get that. But, like, a balance is necessary, and too much to either extreme is bad.
For sure.
Driving it in a derby, not the best idea. You can do whatever you want with the things you have, though.
Mm-hmm.
Never driving it, still not a great idea.
Yeah.
Because what's the point of having it then?
But if you're the kind of person who really appreciates like having things that function as trophies, basically, like if that feels fulfilling and awesome to you, cool. It won't for a lot of people, though. And saying that it's like unnecessarily risky or something to drive the car ever because of how expensive it is, like the way that Logan's argument kind of sounds like if you take any risks with yourself in your life, you are not adequately valuing your life, which I disagree with.
Logan, a car, your example, is a man-made method of transportation, meaning it is designed to take you where you want to go. It's not a trophy, it has a purpose. Your body should be treated the same way, as a vessel that takes you where you want to go in life. Never fail to impress myself. Well, the car in your illustration just crashed, so I don't think it will be taking you very far. Also, you spoke of how our existence, in exactly the form that it's taken, is a miracle, right? Yes. We beat the odds. Sure. We won the friggin' existential lottery. I hope you know that my agreeing to a point that I made is not a win for you. If we're so lucky to be here, then why should we play it safe now? Expand on your rhetorical questions, please. What do you mean by playing it safe? Play it safe, you know, like settling for a life that's just fine. You talk of maintaining this life that you've been given, and that's the point of it all, but the point of life can't just be effort for effort's sake. That effort should go towards reaching some sort of peak. Some sort of beak? What? No. Oh, like climbing a tall tree all the way up to a bird's nest. Birds have beaks, and from there I will be able to take flight. You know what? Sure. You took the long way around, but we got there. Yeah. My point. Everyone's got a dream. We all remember the song from Tangled. And they're typically not easy to achieve. But we cannot let that be a deterrent. And we can't take half measures. We must hone our craft. Or crafts if you want to be a Renaissance man, Thomas. Maybe. Everything we do must be in service to realizing our dreams. Everything he does can't be in an effort to realize his dreams. What about eating? Thomas isn't Pac-Man. He can't eat his way to victory. That does sound awesome, though.
Actually, you can. That's what food competitions are in professional, like, food challenge people.
Yeah,
Like,
but if that doesn't happen to be his dream,
Yeah.
the thing you said about balance really holds true throughout this video. Like, you can't really do everything solely for the purpose of achieving your dream and ignore everything else. But only surviving isn't enough to satisfy a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And working towards something bigger than just not dying can be very helpful and very fulfilling. But making that somewhat realistic, at least, can also be very helpful. But if it's too realistic and you easily achieve it and then don't have a new dream, that can also be depressing.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, they both make some good points and some points that are way too, like, exaggerated.
May I try it? And as far as reaching your peak is concerned, it's beak. Whatever. There is always a chance that something will bar us from crossing the metaphorical finish line. Yes, we're lucky to be alive in the first place, but luck runs out. This life is uncertain. We can't accurately predict each twist and turn like we might be able to if this was a scripted series. Nods in agreement. Thomas, that wasn't dialogue. What? Oh, one thing that is well within Thomas's...
I'm sorry, I just love the way that they break the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Because
It's
I feel like
really
they
fun
do
when
it
it's
in
done
really
correctly.
clever ways.
They do, and when it's done well, it's really, really good. When it's done poorly, it's just kind of like, that was dumb.
His ability is keeping his body healthy, so that should be the priority. Pursuing your passions is all fine and good, but at the end of the day, you must come first. The human being, not some hypothetical best-case scenario. Wow, someone doesn't like happily ever afters. Okay, Pain in the Nexus instruments. What does Thomas putting himself first mean to you? I'm glad you asked, you quixotic, quarrelsome, I'm not good at nicknames, so I was a bit
Quasimodo?
scared. But to answer your question, Roman, healthy habits. Take, for instance, the sleeping schedule we've gone over before. We've stressed its importance, but why is it important? A consistent sleep schedule helps with one's circadian rhythm, which is basically a 24-hour internal clock. One important function of that clock is ensuring hormones like cortisol and adrenaline are released about 1 hour before you need to wake.
Yeah.
So, initially, just overall, circadian rhythm has been proven through scientific study to be fucked. It's not accurate, and definitely not the old school one that boomers keep preaching at you, of like it fucks up your circadian rhythm or whatever. There are people who have a backward circadian rhythm, and it doesn't work the same. Also, people with like ADHD and stuff, their circadian rhythm is way different because they might not get the cortisol release to wake up or whatever. They might get something else.
I agree with you that it's
Why?
different for different people. I think the point that they're making in the video lines up with that, though, and doesn't line up with the old version of... Like, I think different people's circadian rhythm can definitely be different.
You're
Like,
different.
It's not best for everyone to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
I agree.
But having it be consistent is helpful for a lot of people.
Go on.
Wake up. This allows your body to gently wake up naturally, preparing you for when the alarm clock goes off. Wait, so is that why some days I'll sleep in but still feel drowsy? Precisely. And when that's the case, how can one enjoy their day? So, how to maintain your circadian rhythm? Maintain your sleeping habits. This includes turning off electronic devices 30 minutes before bed. But Twitter? Nope. Tumblr? No.
Bullshit.
No. Twinster? Now you are just making things up.
I think it probably does help some people.
It
but
does some people, but
There
it is
are other
not
people
even
who
the
need those
majority.
things. Yeah, there are other people who need those things, like, as coping skills for dealing with
Like
their life
trauma
and their
stuff.
brain. And
Yeah, like white noise, brown noise, all that kind of stuff. Fantastic for people with ADHD. Leaving some
fall
kind of
asleep listening
background
to a
noise on.
podcast or whatever.
Having like even people who are scared of the dark, having a nightlight on. I know they say, well, get a specific nightlight that doesn't have blue light because that'll wake you up. It really won't matter. And it's such an archaic thing that I always take issue with it because it's just not... It's not great, and it could be better, and I don't want people to just take the trope of, oh yeah, obviously this is the thing to do, because
Yeah.
it's not.
I think a lot of people are too comfortable prescribing one solution for every person who has a remotely related problem. And I think that is basically never, if not fully never, going to actually apply to all people in that type of a situation, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like the easiest thing that makes that click with people, I think, who have a hard time grasping that for whatever reason, is using the analogy of like allergies. There might be one go-to medication or whatever for whatever illness I have, like an antibiotic or something. If I'm allergic to that medication, that is not the solution for me.
Uh-huh.
It will definitely not help me if I am allergic to it.
All right.
So I need a different solution, or there might not be a solution for my situation currently, and science still needs to find one. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah. I agree. I think a lot of people make too many blanket statements about things like that.
Actually, no. It's an app that shows you what you'd look like if you had an identical twin. See? Wow, my twin kind of looks like you, Logan. Absolutely no technology 30 minutes before bed. Also, you should only associate your bed with sleep.
Hold on. Wait, that's a system moment.
What?
It has happened before, where even though we share the same body, it never clicked for some people that they shared the same body, because they thought they looked different in the body, because they carried it different, dressed different, all this kind of stuff. And it's like, wow, we look similar. What a coincidence. It's like, yeah, there's a reason for that. It's like, but I can't shatter your worldview like that. It wouldn't be nice to me.
Yeah. Different alters in the same body can look shockingly different. Like, it really surprises me sometimes just how obviously a different person it is. Like, that still occurs to me a lot hanging out with your system. Is there will still be situations where I'm like, how could anybody not feel like this is a totally different person? Like, this is very obviously a completely different person. And then that's assuming that they're like not masking. But even like pictures, even if it's not full like voice and mannerisms and all that stuff, people will hold themselves so differently and make different facial expressions. And like you said, especially if it's like picking out different outfits and doing their hair differently and whatever else, you know?
Other thing. So only use it for those two things. No working or eating in bed. Okay, well, there goes Friday night pancake and pillow fights. It's funny, the way you phrase that sounds like you would be fighting with both pillows and pancakes. That's exactly what it was. It was a disaster. I'm not sad to see it go. One of the most important aspects of any sleep schedule is going to bed and getting up at the same time every day. Except weekends. Even on weekends. Broken. Okay, Dad. You called? Oh, no, I was just, making fun of Logan. Oh, sounds like all you're doing is calling him a cool guy. See him? That's patent, Roman. All right, see this? Serious business. That, silliness. All right, you guys play nice. Love you, Patton. Love you, Thomas. And Thomas, this should be an easy note, yet you do this all the time. Do not eat large meals right before bedtime. But a big meal makes me sleepy. You may think so, but your body still has to digest that food, which makes it very difficult to fall asleep. Gastric emptying can take around 4 hours to complete. If you're hungry before bed, eat a small, healthy snack. This snack over here is wondering if you're finished or not. That's only one healthy habit to work on. In the same vein as my last point, a proper eating schedule can be just as beneficial to Thomas's happiness and well-being. Food is important for energy, and spreading food intake to smaller meals and snacks 6 to 8 times a day, rather than 3 large meals a day, can prevent overindulging. Wow. Drinking regularly is maybe even more important. Aha! So with the boring lifestyle you're proposing, Thomas has to get all boozed up to feel fulfilled. No, I'm referring to Oxidane, or water. The only, shots I endorse are vaccines. You can Throw that vocab card away. It's a little dated. Research shows that just 1% dehydration can negatively affect your mood, attention, memory, and motor coordination. If your blood lacks proper hydration...
I just need to throw out there, this part of this video always makes me feel attacked.
Mm-hmm.
But that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
But also, obviously, a lot of these things are often not this simple. They're not easy changes to make for a lot, if not all, people. And they are not the only causes of these problems. So, like, if you're having attention problems, that doesn't necessarily mean you're dehydrated. And even if you are, fixing the dehydration wouldn't necessarily fix the memory problems, or attention problems, or whatever I said.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I don't know which one I said. Clearly my attention and memory are great.
You should drink more liquid.
Mm-hmm.
Are you dehydrated? Yes.
Always.
How
Thanks
you
for
doing
asking.
on liquid today?
Caffeinated liquid? Pretty good. Benny.
It could become concentrated, leading to increased blood pressure and quicker exhaustion, preventing you from performing more tasks throughout the day.
Why are you drinking out of a blender?
This is the biggest container that I have. Great, you've pushed your extremist water agenda. Are we good? We also hear that exercise is good for you, but how is it good for you? How? Well, just skimming the surface, any type of regular physical activity can help reduce the risk of several diseases, like type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and cancer. He'd be getting a great deal more physical exercise if he were out there seizing opportunities rather than in here going through an endless cycle of water guzzling. Wow, Roman, you're still just not understanding the idea of balance, are you? Balance? You want to talk about balance? Do you know how many tasks Thomas and everyone else must complete in a day? People of all ages have schoolwork, jobs, passions to pursue, corn to eat. Ignore that last one. That's just scratching the surface. There's just too much stuff. There is no perfect balance. It's still completely doable if you chart it out thusly. You must allocate an adequate amount of time for sleeping, your 6 daily meals, dental hygiene, general hygiene, exercise, work, and pursuing your dreams, I guess. Wow, you really got it all worked out, huh, Logan? Yes. All right, well, we started this conversation because of the videos. How do the videos fit into this? It's your job. It's a nice job because it encourages you to research various topics, garner knowledge, and apply that knowledge. However, its primary benefit is providing income. Income that should go towards feeding yourself, paying rent so that you have shelter from the elements, and so that you can afford medical help should you need it, etc., etc. That's what you think the primary benefit is? That is why I want him motivated to make these videos. Knowing what these videos are doing in service to his creative aspirations and to the people watching them is great and all, but being able to provide a stable day-to-day lifestyle is paramount, and that should be the driving force that keeps you going. Wow. Thomas, do not let him confound you with rhetorical devices and health facts. He literally could do that with any topic he wanted to sound important, like brushing your teeth. If you don't brush your teeth, it could lead to gum disease, digestive issues, or even problems with the heart and other major organs. See? Are you saying you don't want me to brush my teeth? No, I'm just saying that can't be the bigger picture. Yes, you can abide this day-to-day routine.
Fuck, what's his name? Patton? No. Is that Patton?
Which one?
The one on the screen right now.
Roman.
Roman, right. Sorry. My brain wanted to say Morgan, and I was like, no, that's not it. Morgan just tried to point out that
Nope,
it felt like
Roman.
they were... Roman, sorry.
It's okay.
God, I am... Wow.
You're doing great.
Roman just tried to point out that they felt like they were being gaslit and manipulated, but they didn't fully understand it and know how to word it. They just knew it felt wrong. And when they tried to use an example, it wasn't the example they wanted, but they were trying to point out how they were feeling, and they're just being overwritten again by Logan.
I agree.
Logan. I probably got Morgan from combining those two.
Maybe.
Because, like, the G is in there, the M. I could see it. But it's really important to listen to those feelings, even if you think they're not, like, valid fully. Because whether you think they're valid or not, someone is feeling that way. And you can't just ignore someone's feelings because you don't care in a system mindset. Because, much like real-life relationships, part of being in a system is just learning to coexist. Unless your ultimate goal is like final fusion or whatever, and even if it is, in the meantime,
Yeah.
you still need to learn to coexist with the people around you. Because it can be really difficult, but it's also really important. Like, you have to share your life and everything, and it's not up to you. And it sucks and it's not fair. So learning to communicate is very, very important. Sorry.
Hmm?
I'm sorry.
For what? I
Mm.
was dissociating. I'm sorry.
Are you a disco?
Mm-hmm.
I'm spinning like a ballerina.
We gotta keep going. We've been filming for almost an hour, and there's still
What
like
the
8 minutes
shit?
left of this video.
How?
Uh-huh.
But what comes after? What is it all for? Yeah, please tell me that that endless cycle isn't all that you see for Thomas, Logan. If you paid attention to my pie chart, you would have seen that there's time reserved for extracurricular. This is a super system.
Well, it sounds more like a pee-pee system.
Why didn't you say pooper system? That would have at least rhymed. If you spend your days tending to yourself like a houseplant, you'll never grow like a mighty elm. Elms need tending. Elms take chances. Gotta make the canopy to get your share of the precious sun before some other tree overshadows you. There's lots of pretty imagery there. Logan, you have crafted this overstuffed routine like a sculptor who builds statues out of horse dung. Do you think that if Mozart only had 2 minutes of piano practice a day, he would have been as prodigious as he was? You can't throw away your days on mundanities. You must make your time count. Take, for instance, all the great artists of the Romantic era, all the wonderful works they're remembered for. One of the main things they stressed was the importance of individuality, and it takes more time than Logan's system allows to establish that. Life's rewards lie in sharpening your skills, in the possibility of becoming the best at something, so that you can leave a legacy, like Shakespeare, or Frida Kahlo, or Bob Ross. They're remembered for being the best of the best of the best. Like them, you should strive to leave your mark on the world, or beyond this world. Until you've reached the height that you want to reach in life, that must be the priority and your main driving force. Meaning some sacrifices must be made. Forget sleep. You could be writing. Hanging out with friends? Only specific friends that can help you on your path to achieving your dreams. But what if my dream is to care for my friends? Then you will care for your friends better than they have ever been cared for in their entire lives. Yes! What you're suggesting is preposterous. I don't know the meaning of the word. It means ridiculous. Really? That's what it means? Thank you. I just learned something. But also you're wrong. Look at any romantic hero in history. Mary Shelley, Van Gogh, Edgar Allan Poe. If they failed, it was the world's fault. They were still regarded as brilliant for their time. Like them, we should cling to our passion and make our existence mean something. And nothing should be allowed to get in our way. We can't give up, even when it's hard. Take, for instance, a visual metaphor of mine own. Say you were in the process of battling a mighty manticore chimera. Manticores and chimeras are both creatures that are combinations of several animals, and you're putting them both together? You bet I am. Can you even imagine what it would look like? So you're facing this manticore chimera, and let's say you're wounded. You've got a broken leg or something. The beast doesn't care. It's not going to let up, and you must persevere. If you're wounded, then you should probably get out of there, tend to those wounds, and come back to fight again when you're healthy. Also, why would you be fighting such a dangerous fictional beast on your own? Bring other people with you to make the feat easier. What is your obsession with making tasks harder than they need to be? If that's your dream, then it's purely chimerical. Well, yes, because there's a chimera in it. No, chimerical. Existing only as the product of unchecked imagination. How can you be teaching me so many words, but also be so wrong today? Earlier I spoke of heroes, artists, and people of note, but how about these people of note? Your family. My family? So many of your ancestors took chances, endured hardships, risked their lives for you to even exist today. Follow in their footsteps. You could very well be what your entire family tree was leading up to. Make them proud. Wow. Listen to you. At least when I'm trying to prove my point, I use facts rather than flowery language that lacks any real substance. Easy, egghead. Over easy. This isn't just stirring imagery. It's steeped in truth. Pardon me while I laugh. I feel like what you're emphasizing is what you always choose to focus on, whether it be cartoons, romance, or even Thomas's future plans. Fantasy.
Sorry, that was a really good. Like I was expecting it, but it hit
I know,
way
it was
better than
so
it
well
was
done.
supposed to be.
I know.
They paused for like half a second longer, and it just, God, that was so good. What?
Well, yeah, Logan, it's kind of me. It's kind of my thing. But why put so much importance on fiction when the world is already as wonderful as it is? Why do you have to keep making things up or dreaming about what could be rather than appreciating what we do have here and now? You were dropped into this beautiful biosphere. You could be paying attention to it rather than missing it on your quest for high heights. You should read, explore, and learn about the world. What better way to learn about and appreciate the world than by seizing all it offers to its highest achieving inhabitants? If you do the same thing day in and day out, you will find that your appreciation for this life has depreciated over time. Like eating your favorite food for every meal of every day. That's why you need goals. A goal is the healthiest life that can be achieved. Yawn, Logan. Uber yawn. Thomas, if you put all your passion behind Logan's daily regimen, you will find yourself years from now having whiled away your best days at a boring desk job, wishing for a better, more exciting life. And every day you will ask yourself, why didn't I do more in life? Why didn't I just listen to Roman? Well, better to be healthy and safe than sick or dead. 'Tis better to have risked and lost than never to have risked at all. He has to be healthy before he can pursue any of the nonsense that you're suggesting. Oh, so now I'm nonsense. Well, at least I am not. It was such a big mistake bringing you into the conversation. Nerd. Crap, guys, what are you still arguing about? We were discussing the most important reasons behind why you do everything that you do. Yeah, and it worked. Wait, what? I am pumped up now! But we never decided who. Look, both of your arguments had some really strong points. They also each had some weak areas in there, so of course the solution is somewhere in the middle. Making sure that I tend to my body and practice healthy habits as best as I can will help me each day to make videos that allow me to live properly. And my health and videos are also a way to help me take chances and push forward deeper into the unknown. That sounds cool. Each day is an opportunity to marvel at my daily life and dream about what's around the bend. And I shouldn't let any of that go to waste. Thank you guys. You're welcome. You're welcome. You know, you guys might not think so, but you two make a really good team. I'm just saying that right now. It's good. It's good. Well, that's good to hear. Now, be sure to ask for Roman's help with the next game that you create. Thank you for bringing that up. I was honestly a little miffed Muffet when I realized he didn't come to me for assistance on that one. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just kind of spotted my game of Jenga in the corner and then looked down at my shoes. But actually, you two may have helped come up with a new game for me. It's gonna require people to write out stories on big construction paper and then act it out using puppetry. I love it. That sounds more like a puppet show than a game, but sure. Yeah, well, we'll see. It can be fairly common for each of us to lose our drive, our main reason for going, every now and again. In moments like these, it might be helpful to take stock in our surroundings, remind ourselves of what we hope to achieve, and examine how we conduct ourselves on a daily basis. Small course corrections like these can go a long way to helping us embrace each new day with excitement and hope. Until next time, take it easy, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Peace out.
That was really good.
So, yeah, I agree. But the idea of having the conversations between even very polar opposite perspectives still being helpful, even if those two opposites don't come to an agreement, really, really hits home.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can both be right about some things and wrong about other things, and right about things in some contexts and not others, and the answer is usually somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Black and white thinking doesn't work fantastic for a lot of stuff. And The answer is almost always gray, which sucks because people want it to be simple, but life isn't simple, and the complexity of it is part of what makes it so good sometimes.
I really like that they let go of the idea of there being an absolute priority between those two opposites, of one of them being much more important than the other one always. Because there will be moments where one of them is a higher priority, but that has to be flexible. Like, there are times where, like, you focus on self-care and stuff like that and neglect your job and your passions a little bit because you needed that. And there are going to be other times where you stay up late because you're so into the thing that you're doing and you're like in a really good streak for it and you're making a lot of progress.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. End screen time.
What you up to over there, Patton? Oh, I'm just appreciating that big old picture over there.
It is strangely calming.
I'm glad we made a video today. They make people happy. You know, I think that's what it's all about, really. Just trying to add a little bit more goodness and light into the world.
Wow, that is really nice, Patton. Shame that Logan didn't call you up for that conversation. Seems like you would have made some good contributions.
Well, what are you gonna do? Every dog has its day.
Patton, I don't think that you know what that means.
Well,
Oh
to each his
no!
own.
Also, no.
May the force be with you.
Honey,
Yeah.
no.
Oh,
Oh
Pat.
no.
It's so funny because
I like
Patton
Patton so much.
Patton is such an interesting character because he's so thoroughly a caretaker, but he's also so thoroughly a little. You know what I mean? And he's not canonically a child. He's just very childish in a lot of ways. Which a lot of good caretakers do hold on to a lot of that. But, yeah. Precious bean.
Never change.
Mm-hmm.
You wanna say your outro stuff?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh god, my chair's making noise. If you see any, like, system connections that we missed, feel free to add those in comments or come over to our Discord server and talk about it there. We have a whole channel for talking about videos after they come out. And you can also obviously let us know your thoughts on other aspects of the video. It doesn't just have to be stuff that's like directly system related. But yeah. The link for Discord and also our Etsy shop and stuff like that are in the description box as always. And I'll put some videos and playlists on the screen so that you have other things you can go watch. But make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss new videos and like this video before you go watch another one. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Bye. You gonna say bye?
No.
Okay.
Wow.
I have to do